The Madman!
Kobolds and Catacombs brought upon a lot of strong cards for Dragon Priest. Duskbreaker, widely acclaimed as one of the strongest cards in the set. Twilight Acolyte alongside Duskbreaker. Those cards are just so powerful in Dragon decks. However, kind of surprisingly, these other cards, Spiteful Summoner and Grand Archivist, also make up a very, very large part of the deck. Use the Spiteful Summoner and the Grand Archivist to cheat out extreme value by having only 3 big spells in your deck, Free from Amber and Mind Control. And then of course your always friendly Corridor Creeper is always crawling in your dungeons and being a sleeper. It's a really bad top deck, and it's a card you don't really want to keep in your hand anyways. Seems unlikely I'm going to give it 1 star. The 2-drop slot could be another Spite Historian instead of Prince Kaliseth and Patches, if you want to have the adventure card instead of the legendaries. I feel like in the metagame right now, though, there's a lot of tempo involved, and therefore the Prince Kaliseth version might be superior. So this deck's a tempo deck. You're looking to try to curve out, but at the same time, there is play against tempo decks, and this deck can transform into more of a mid-range deck. The opponent's a rogue, which is usually a tempo rogue, so I'm going to go for a more control-oriented style here. I'm going to keep the Duskbreaker, which should be able to clear off a bunch of minions and mulligan these stuff. The Acolyte is a card that theoretically could be played before the Duskbreaker, but it's not really great on turn 3, since I don't have earlier game. It's a pretty nice hand. So we're probably just going to do almost nothing for the first 3 turns. Play the Duskbreaker, hopefully get the Corridor Creeper discounted a bunch, and then curve from there. If it's some sort of slower rogue deck, I've got the Twilight Drake that I can play as a very large card. Probably coin it out then. No, I wouldn't, because I want to follow up. Actually, I'll probably just go Talon Priest, Twilight Drake, and Scalebane. Important to understand that in tempo decks, you can play cards which are not optimal for their time. But this is just a 3-mana 3/4. Which is fine. And of course you'd rather play Kaliseth on 2 and then get Talon Priest on 3, but you're not always that lucky. So it is a tempo rogue though. Ooh, in this case, you have to peer into the opponent's soul and realize that the reason why you would Shadow Step Southsea Deckhand is to enable a combo next turn. A bit of an unusual play, but the plan there is for him to play the Minstrel next turn. So I've got 2 possible lines here. First line is to play Northshire Cleric. He'll trade in the 2/1 and the weapon. The other play is to play Cabal Talon Priest, but that could take a triple trade. And then the final play is to just pass. I think passing is best here. Well, no, there's actually another play. You can coin Twilight Drake and then play Duskbreaker next turn. Yeah, it's worth it. Play the Twilight Drake, follow it up with Duskbreaker. I have the Cobalt Scalebane, and then I have the Cobalt Scalebane afterwards. So the Twilight Drake is going to take the 3 damage AoE, but that's fine to have this on the board. I think this is the best play, followed up with Healing Self to be the second best play into Duskbreaker. And then third best play is probably playing out Talon Priest or Cleric. This is not how I expected him to go, though. So I've got a few lines here. I can go Cleric Heal, or I can go Talon Priest. Now this is a tempo v tempo deck, so I'm not looking to establish that much value. So I will actually go Cleric and Talon Priest. And if the opponent wants to clear off my Cleric with the Southsea Deckhand, that's fine. It's important to be able to switch gears, to either play this as more of a control deck or to play it for tempo. Ooh, the power card Twilight Acolyte.
Right away.
Such a powerful card. 3 mana for 5/4 and got rid of 3 attack there. Basically, that would be, if you added it up, 3 mana for 12 stats. And in tempo v tempo deck matchups, whoever manages to get established on the board first generally wins it. So even though I didn't get super value on quite a few of these cards, they got enough value to stay ahead. Wow, here we go! Spiteful Summoner. This is the big card which swings the game, since it's always a 6 mana to get a 4/4, and either the 8 drop, but I have it in my hands. I'm always getting a 10 drop with it. That's going to be crushing. There are some weak 10 drops, but it doesn't matter how weak it is. It's always going to be good. In this case, that is pretty good. Oh hey, let's play 0 mana 5/5 on that. Alright, Northshire Cleric is really good against Warlock. You might have seen my Cube Lock video, and that Cube Lock is still all the rage in terms of what Warlocks are playing right now. Northshire Cleric, well, Cube Lock doesn't play very many cards with 3 attack. Could be Zoo, could get a Flame Imp here, I'd be sad. But this might deny a lot of his plays. So this deck tries to kill them really fast, but it also has a Cabal Songstealer to silence those Void Lords out of the way. The mind controls are a big deal against Void Lord.
Right away.
Oh, it's the giant version.
Right away.
More control heavy, so probably doesn't run cubes. The Kalseth package is... I haven't looked at the statistics, but I personally think that it's better than the Netherspite Historian package at the moment. Ooh, nice. Nice dragon draw. Allows me to actually play this and heal. Oh, killing that thing off. So going to the next turn is going to be a bit tricky onto how much I want to commit, since the Corridor Creeper is going to be pretty inexpensive. And then how much I want to play for a tempo, and how much I want to play for value. Kalseth wants to be played, mainly for the buff. Alright, well, the next turn I'm going to have a very strong turn. Grand Archivist is going to cast Free from Amber. But I may not want to do that because Spiteful Summoner has only Free from Amber to go off of right now. And I have to make a decision on how much to put on the board. Start with this. Well, I have a near full hand, so Librarian isn't very useful. Hellfire gets rid of all the Voidwalkers. So let's see, the next turn I can be expected to face off against the Void Lord. Or a 5/7 Charger. Either way. To counter the 5/7, we buff the 5/5. And then we also play around Twisting Nether by not playing both Creepers. This Mind Control wants to aim at Void Lord. If I had a Mind Control left in my deck, I'd cast Grand Archivist. Possibly. If you take away their Void Lord, they can't resurrect it also, which is very good. Let's see, if I bump both of these in, this will be at 3 health, so I could heal it and then Hellfire and then actually go through. Ooh, Faceless. Wow. That was an interesting line, though. The line of extreme patience. Simply pass in the mind control. That's too slow for a tempo deck. And while this might be committing a bit much, I do have 2 mind controls in my hand. And I didn't commit everything, since I didn't play my 0 mana 5/5. But yeah, games against control, you gotta play it much more carefully. There's no way for him to kill off his own Void Lord here. So I'll happily take it. Hold on to that creeper. This deck is expected to have no burst in it, but with Hellfire and Captain pulling out patches, I'm actually going to have 6 damage. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, that was a nice defile setup there. They have Hellfire. Also, really good, by the way, to mind control those oozes. Because when that dies, you still get the 2 Void Lords. It's insane.